As a parent, saving for your child's college education can be, well, overwhelming. You're not only planning their future, but also investing in their dreams. Today, we're diving back into the world of saving for college and specifically focusing on how to use funds saved in a 529 college savings plan to pay for housing and food. But first, as a quick reminder, a 529 plan is a state-sponsored, tax-advantaged investment account designed specifically to help families save for future qualified higher education expenses. If you are looking for 529 plan basics and why the plan is tax-advantaged, check out our linked video. Now, let's focus on housing and food costs. Sometimes referred to as room and board expenses, it simply refers to a student's living and meal expenses while attending an accredited higher education institution. Let's dive into a few things to be aware of when using your 529 funds on these costs. First, with a 529 plan, housing and food costs are considered qualified higher education expenses if the student is enrolled at least half-time at an eligible higher education institution. This includes both on and off-campus housing costs when the student is enrolled in a degree or certificate program or a program that leads to a recognized credential. Allowable housing and food costs are based on the published cost of attendance for the specific school a student is attending. The cost of attendance is an important piece of information for families to be aware of, so it is included on most schools' websites, often on their expenses and fees page. But you can also do a quick internet search with the school's name plus the words cost of attendance. Just be sure to find the correct academic year. For students living on campus, like in a dorm, you can likely have your 529 plan send a check directly to the school to pay for housing and food costs owed. Be aware that the actual invoice amount you receive from the school for your student's housing and meal plan is treated as a qualified expense, even if it exceeds the published cost of attendance. But what if your student lives off campus? You can still use your 529 funds to pay for housing and food costs, like rent, groceries, and utilities. Just be sure to stay within your school's published cost of attendance when using 529 funds. Any housing or food costs that are more than the published cost of attendance would be considered non-qualified and subject to taxes and penalties. If your student participates in a study abroad program or even enrolls in a college located in a different country, you can still use your 529 savings for housing and food costs, as long as the student is enrolled at least half-time and the classes in the study abroad program are accepted for credit by an eligible U.S. college or university. If the student is enrolled in a college in a different country, you can also use your 529 savings to pay for housing and food costs just as you would at a school in the United States, so long as the school is eligible to participate in the federal student aid program. To recap, using 529 savings to cover housing and food costs is common for most families, but it is important to understand what exactly qualifies and how much you can spend. The key to using your 529 savings for housing and food expenses is that the student is enrolled at least half-time in a degree or certificate program at an eligible higher education institution. Just as with any expenses paid for with your 529 savings, it is important for you and your student to keep records and receipts of expenses, as you will want to refer to those when you file your taxes. Don't forget, it's never too early or too late to start saving. Every dollar you save now may be one less dollar your child needs to borrow in student loans. Need more information? Check out the resources below. Like this video, subscribe for more college savings content, and don't forget to hit the bell icon for notifications. Thanks for watching. See you next time.